the Jerk Circle podcast. I'm your host, Harold, and today, Jared got a little sleepy. He came into work early today, so he won't be here, but you know who is here? We got Dylan, and we got Andrew. What's up, brothers?
What's
Howdy,
up?
howdy.
So,
Howdy like you're a cowboy.
I don't know about that one.
yeehaw.
Could you imagine Dylan all dressed up like a cowboy? You know, he's got the cowboy hat. He's got, like, the pants that have, like, the frail on the side. Oh.
I'd be killing it, man.
Oh, I'd be a damsel in distress, dude. Be like, I'm tied on the train track. Somebody save me.
Now he'd stare at you and be like, well, I ain't saving that.
Ooh, get that out of here. I don't want that.
But yeah,
Rip.
Jared, this morning I woke up to a Snapchat from him saying it's too early for this. It was 4:32 in the morning. This man was already at work welding.
Yeah. You got there early.
And, I don't know how you can do it, you know. You're already waking up early enough as is for working and being like, oh yeah, I'll come in an hour earlier. Nope.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty icky, that
Like,
waking up that early and being to work.
To say the very least.
That early.
But just, it would not be me. No,
I would
thank you.
rather stay an hour later than come in an hour earlier. Because at least by then you're already there. So it's like, hey, can you stay an hour later? It's like, no, but... Or do I want
If we're
to,
talking that early, yes. But if it's like, your normal time is like 8, but they want you to come in at like 7 or 6, like I'd be like, oh yeah, and then I get to leave early? Yeah.
Right, that's a little bit more understandable, I guess. But
Like, Eli will send us, like, messages and stuff at, like, 2 in the morning. Like, he's already up and at him, like, farming, and I'm like, oh my goodness, dude.
yeah, but he goes to bed at like 7 o'clock.
Yeah, but he wakes up at, like, 2 in the morning, though.
Right.
But
so
he does
still
take a
gets
nap,
his
though.
8 hours.
His sleep schedule's weird,
And he
though.
gets naps in.
He'll finish his, like, shift or whatever, then the first thing he'll do is take a nap, and then he'll be, like, up and at him again at, like, 11, 12. Which, they technically say that if you're taking a nap, anything more than, like, 30 minutes, like, messes with your circadian rhythm. You're not supposed to take long naps.
No wonder my wife is broken then.
Yeah, she's a napper, man.
She loves to nap. That is like her favorite thing to do. And it's like, I don't mind a nap, and naps are good. But like, the thing that I have with naps is like, there's two things behind it. One, I just feel like I'm wasting my day away if I'm napping.
Right.
I would rather just like be semi-tired and deal with it. And then like, okay, if like nothing's going on, you know, on a weekend or something, then it's like, okay, maybe I go to bed at like, 9 or 10 or something instead of like midnight. And then the other thing is like, I think taking naps, like when you wake up, it's really a gamble. Are you gonna be feeling a lot better? Are you gonna wake up pissed than you like more than you were when you took the nap, or are you just gonna wake up feeling super like out of it and groggy? Because I feel like that's 95% of the naps I take. I wake up and I'm just like, oh, well, it's either one of those three options. And
you feel worse than when you actually went to sleep.
Yeah,
most of the time it's like groggy or you're just pissed.
You know when you when you play like an RPG or something, and it's like your character woke up from an amnesia, and it's like, what happened? What's going on? Where am I? That's how I feel when I wake up from a nap. I'm very much like lost in the sauce. What do you think is like prime nap time? Is it something you do specific and then you take a nap, or a certain time, or what? Because like I've noticed for myself, if I ever spend all day in the sun, like out at a fair or something, and I come home and it's like 1:32, it's nap time because I'm baked in the sun and I'm like, I'm tired. The air conditioning kicks in.
Yeah, I suppose that's like it's about like the comfort level, I think.
Mm-hmm. Those naps though, like those that like you take when like you've been out in the sun. Like if you're on a boat all day and you've been swimming, or like you're just like lounging, hanging around with friends. When it hits like 3 or 4 in the afternoon, you're like, oh, dude, I could lay down and just pass out. But I've had naps where like I'll wake up at like 7 or 8, and I'm like, what time is it? What day is it? How much did I
Oh, for
sleep?
sure.
You
Who
know?
are
For
you?
sure.
What are you doing in my house?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the last time I took a nap was, I think it was a couple summers ago. But I did have a migraine, which is that's also the only other time I will take a nap is if I get a migraine. But I haven't really
Yeah,
gotten
that's
migraines in a
true.
while, so. But I think it's normally around that summertime. I never take winter naps.
See, I try not to take like summer naps just because like there's so much more I can go out and do. If in the winter, it's like okay, if it's really like snowy and stuff, it's like well you're not gonna like go anywhere, so I might as well just sleep. Um,
Yeah.
but again, naps for me are just pretty rare in general. Um, it's definitely about the comfort level. I definitely will try to push myself until bedtime if I need to.
I think it's a
Yeah, I'd
sad thing
rather
that
that than nap and then be up till midnight.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a sad thing that Jared's not here because Jared would be like the nap like Hall of Fame accountant because this man is always taking naps. Anytime I see him, oh, what'd you do? Oh, I took a nap and then I da da da. What'd you do when you got? Oh, I took a little nap. Or like, my favorite is he'll go home to play something. He'll be like, yeah, give me a second, and then he goes to take a nap in his chair and he's like, oh fuck, I fell asleep. I'm gonna go lay down now.
Yeah.
Always napping.
Yeah.
Speaking of, that's a terrible segue. Andrew, I
You
gotta,
are bad at segues.
sometimes they're great and sometimes they're not great. But
Yeah.
I got a little question for you, Andrew. It's
Alright,
Packer
shoot.
related. Uh,
I figured.
it's been a while since we talked a whole lot of football. But the Packers did something pretty big. They released Jaire Alexander after apparently not trying to trade him. They were trying to extend him or change his contract, and he said no. So they just straight up released him. Um, I guess my question is, what would you say is the why of it, and how would you say you're gonna remember Jaire as a Packer?
Oh, Jair was the guy that always got into your head. he was looking for not like a fight, but he was always looking to get inside the other person's head. He's a big talker. Um, anytime he shut down a play or intercepted, it's always a big celebration. So he wanted his name to be known. Um, I actually remember Jair as a rookie. I believe this was back when the Rams were still in St. Louis. Um, yeah, because they were the St. Louis Rams at one point. Um, and he played that during I think it was 2018. Um, he was playing really well, and I was like, "Ooh, this corner could be something special," and he did. He turned out to be pretty good, though. The why of it, I would say, his contract didn't make a whole lot of sense. He was slated to make like almost 20 million just for this year. And that's a lot. They tried to trade him to the Bills, and the Bills didn't like his contract, so that's why the Packers wanted to like rework it, but Jair wasn't having it. So it when you look at it from a fan standpoint, you're like, man, that sucks because it's like, wow, like Rodgers is gone. You're like Devontae Adams is gone. Jair is now gone. There's just a lot of big names that I kind of grew up with, like in high school and then kind of outside of high school a little bit, that you just grew up with, and those guys have gotten older and they've moved on, and it's start of a new era, and I get it's with love, and I'm excited for that, but I guess from an office standpoint it kind of made sense because he didn't play much of last year at all, and with the inconsistencies of his health, Um, I guess it makes sense to be like, well, why would we pay you 20 million if we don't know if you're gonna play much this year. So and he's getting older, so I'm not a huge fan. If they were most likely looking to cut him or release him or trade him, why wouldn't we draft a higher cornerback in the draft instead of waiting until like I think it was like round 6 or 7? So yeah, I mean our secondary is pretty much McKinney and Evan Williams, but I guess we'll have to see how this Nate Hobbs guy is, because and some other guys are gonna have to step up. So, but yeah, I guess it does hurt, but I guess it makes sense, and like all good things, must come to an end at some point. So, those are my thoughts.
So, with him no longer being on the Packers, do you think he looks good in a Vikings jersey or what?
I doubt he goes to the Vikings.
The Ravens, I heard, are the number one team right now.
Do you want to know what I heard? The first report. Oh, the Eagles would be a great fit. I'm like, are you kidding me? There's no way. I think the Eagles are stacked in their secondary, aren't they?
They got
Unless I missed something.
the two white boys. They got Cooper DeJean and what's his name?
Yeah, I don't remember the other dude.
The other guy.
They're both good.
Slay's
Because
no
I got rid of
Wait,
James.
is Slay on the
Slay's
team?
gone,
No,
I
Slay's
thought.
gone.
And so is Bradbury.
Yep, Bradbury's been gone for a little bit. Terrence Mitchell. Oh, Terrence Mitchell. He was a dog.
Yeah. Yep, so it's like, okay, their secondary is fine. Like, I could see, I think someone was talking about the Raiders, or the Ravens, or the Bills, even though the Bills didn't want to trade for him. But, who is out there is my boy Rasul Douglas. He's still out there, because he was let go.
Asante Samuel Jr. too. I know he had a neck injury though, so
Yeah.
that's a little nervous to sign a guy, and I don't know if the Packers would want to sign a guy with injury concerns after releasing the guy because of injury concerns. But I think they have options. I know some people were saying that because of the cap space they made, they're like, wow, a Trey Hendricks trade can make sense. A TJ Watt trade can make sense. It's like the Packers aren't going to do that. They are not going to trade for a top tippity top guy.
It would be unlikely that the Packers do that, because Good has said that he believes in the guys that we have, which again doesn't win you championships. I don't know where this thinking comes from, but I also get if you're gonna go out and get someone like TJ or Trey Hendrickson, they're both looking for contract extensions. So if you go and get him, you have to pay them. So, then it's like, okay, how many guys do you have big contracts with? Okay, that limits how many players on the roster. And we already have a lot of wide receivers coming up. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are going to be needing contracts here soon, depending on how they play.
Tucker Kraft is coming up. There's a bunch of guys that need their second contract. Basically all the offense, because the biggest strength of having so many young wide receivers drafted in the same one or two draft classes is they're young and they're cheap. The problem is if they play really good, you got to pay them, and then if you're paying them basically all at the same time.
Yeah.
So I think taking that $16 million, it's not the most ideal thing to just carry it over, but I think that it could be a smart thing if you want to, hey, we still want to keep the band together and still have, Reed around, and, we want to pay, because they always end up getting that fourth round offensive lineman that plays good. You got to sign him to a deal. And I think
you look at
Jenkins needs a deal too.
Who?
Elton Jenkins needs a deal at some point, or is he already on one?
No, he's looking for his contract to be reworked because they're moving him to center because Josh Myers is gone.
Okay, yep.
So that's why. And I think the Packers actually just extended him like 2 years ago. So it's like, okay, well, we just extended you, and you're not really doing that much different. Like it's kind of a lateral move, but kind of not. You know, I'm not an office person, so. But I mean, last year they added Josh Jacobs and McKinney. This year they added Banks and Nate Hobbs. So I mean, I think they've got involved a lot more these last couple of years with free agency. And now that they do have cap space, it's like, okay, if you want to go sign another cornerback that's out there in the market, throw a few million at him and see what happens. But I don't know. I think it gives them some room, some wiggle room, and maybe they're doing that for next year. Who knows? And just, all right, well, we'll see what we can get this year. Who knows?
I think another slightly underrated thing is a lot of people see, like I saw it all on Instagram, I saw it all on TikTok, like a lot of people saw the name like, Pro Bowl cornerback Jaire Alexander released and everyone's like, why would you do that? That's your best cornerback. The room's in shambles. Jaire only played 7 games last year. And while the
Yeah,
cornerback room wasn't the greatest, it was like ranked, I think, top 10 in everything except like
we were top
passes
10
defended.
defense. Yeah,
Except like one stat, which now, like, I don't think releasing it makes the cornerback room worse, but I do think that you kind of limit the upside of it, where it's like you're just hoping the guys can be good. I mean, shoot, they got a Bo Melton doing cornerback duty now, doing a little both of that now, which is kind of funny. Um, well, I know that he's end of roster guy. They might not keep him this year. They're seeing if they have anything with him as either or. Maybe they're inspired by Travis Hunter a little bit, but like the name of Jaire is a little bit bigger than his performance has been the past 2 years because he's only played 14 games the past 2 years.
yeah.
So
And we've got your two safeties are pretty much Xavier and then Evan Williams, and Evan Williams is really good. Um, I don't mind Zane Anderson. He hasn't gotten a lot of reps, but then for your like cornerbacks or nickelbacks or like Carrington Valentine, Keyshawn Nixon, Nate Hobbs, Javon Bullard, Kalen King, and you picked up Micah Robinson. Or no, you signed Micah Robinson was actually this year's draft, and then you picked up Gregory Jr. from the Jags. So I mean, it's not looking like great, but if Keyshawn is really going to be the cornerback, and maybe you move like Mecole Hardman to the punt returns, or Bo Melton to the punt returns or the kick returns, well, then, yeah, I guess it's not that big of a deal. We'll
I
see.
think I think a lot of people want their team to have the best of something, but I think it's much more attainable of like as long as you're middle of the pack with something, that's a hell of a lot better than being the worst of something. Like if you have a really bad secondary, like having league worst secondary, that'll ruin your defense. But if you have league average, it's not the greatest thing, but then at least at the end of the day, you still have something to work with.
Hey, all I'm gonna say is, as long as we don't have Kevin King on our
Oh my
team,
god.
I think we're I think we're good.
Or he who
That's
must
all I'm
not be
gonna say
named
about that.
what's the terrorist Mr.
What?
putting the offensive coordinator. You put Smith on coverage. Preston Smith.
Oh, yeah, that
Oh,
guy.
that guy. We don't need to remember his name. He's a bad man.
Yeah. Well, we've been talking a lot about Packers. Why don't we, see what Dylan's up to? Got anything for Dylan, Harold?
Do I got anything for Dylan? Let me rummage around in my pockets real quick. Play a little pocket pool.
Okay.
Got a couple mints in my pocket.
Ooh, what kind of mints?
One of those like
Probably the
they're just
minty
like
kind.
Yeah, like the white ones that are. Why can't I think of the name? Lifesaver mints.
You didn't get one of them like
Um,
hot cinnamon ones?
Ugh,
ugh.
no.
That's not really a mint if it's cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
Well, there was one like piece of
Cinnamon, yet,
gum
yet.
that was said that was like mint hot cinnamon flavored gum. It was like
Ooh, cinnamon. Now that you say that, Harold, do you want to describe the shot you took last weekend? What was that, buddy?
so last weekend we were partying.
Oh my.
We went out to a friend's house to do a bonfire, and one of our good friends brought the bucket of the 99 proof shots. And I had black cherry, and I was very happy with it. But I heard somebody, your brother, complaining about
Mm-hmm.
his. So I was like, "What do you have?" He goes, "It's cinnamon." I'm like, "Oh, fine. I drink Fireball. I'm cool with that." Well, everyone else chugs their shot like men, and then here's little baby Harold takes like 2 sips of it, and I'm like, "Oh, this is bad." And like everyone's like laughing about it. Emily's like laughing about it, like, dude, you're baby sipping that. I'm like, this is strong.
This is you already having like multiple drinks prior to this
Oh
too.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
was.
I got the peppermint one, and I downed it
Ooh,
like it was nothing.
You
I
know
had the
what though?
butterscotch. That was good.
All I'm
See, it
gonna
had like
say.
a really colorful label though, so I thought it was like something like fruity and nice, and then it was peppermint.
See, I gotta read it first. If I get that shock of, oh, it's peppermint, I'd be like, ooh.
It's Peppa Pig. I mean
Oh, it
peppermint.
definitely shocked me, man. That was hot.
And I was drinking. I was pretty locked and loaded. But all I'm gonna say is, out of everyone to take a shot that night, I wasn't the one that fell asleep in my trunk bed. So we'll take it.
I mean,
That was so funny. I remember standing by my car, and someone's like, "Is that Thomas?" And he's laying in the truck bed, arms like sprawled above his head, legs dangling. He's got obviously the tailgate down. His legs are dangling off of that. So I go over there, and dude is snoring.
gone.
And there's a whole bunch of beer cans behind him. It was a beautiful picture.
It was like he was almost using
Yeah,
the
buddy was
crush.
cooked.
Like all them cans were the ones that people are throwing in there. It's like he used it as like a pillow. It was like
It's always funny because he likes to talk big when it comes to like competition stuff. But
Oh
when it
yeah.
comes to drinking, he doesn't hit the bar very high. It's funny to laugh at.
I just think it's
I mean,
funny
I
when
had
they
a good
start.
chuckle.
I was
Oh
giggling my
yeah.
ass off, and it was funny because we were taking him into the house to lay him down. He goes, my phone, and then me and Emily are looking at each other like, okay, we need to get him his phone, his keys, and we need to get him water. So I go to walk over to Jake's fridge and I open it. It's nothing but fucking beer, and I'm like, where's the water at? So we were
There's no
just
water.
laughing
I say
hysterically
you haven't been
about
to
the.
Jake's enough.
So we're laughing, and I close the door. I'm like, oh, the water's right next to the fridge. So we gave him that. We had to find his phone, which was like in hiding in the truck. Fate's dad actually had helped us find it because he goes, oh, when I get passed out, when I used to do that, I fell out right here, and then we looked, it was right there. Oh. And then we threw his keys next to him. We're like, yes, don't drive. He's like,
I just remember Jake saying, "Oh, I just really hope he doesn't throw up all over my couch again."
Well, yeah, I mean that was a lot the first time it happened.
dude, that was all, I don't even have to say nothing. I can just look at Dylan and go, oh, and we just start giggling because it's so funny.
Yeah.
And then Jake goes, yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. I got work in the morning. I'm like, damn, you gotta work like early in the. He goes, yeah, I got work at 6. It's like 2 o'clock at night. I'm like, dude, I would have kicked everyone out.
Mhm. Uh-huh.
It would have been
I
like
didn't
9
know
o'clock,
he had
and
to
I've
work.
been like, y'all need to go now.
Yeah. I didn't know he had to work. So
Oh
when he
yeah,
when
he
he
told me at like midnight. He's like, "Oh yeah, I gotta work at 6 in the morning." I'm like, "Oh,
he did me worse. He snapped me at work at like 7. I'm like,
oh."
dude, you had to work? He's like, yeah, I had to work at 6. And I'm like, oh my. I'm like, if I would have known that, we could have scheduled a different time.
Or like just be like, "Leave my house."
Yeah, get out.
Hey, I got work.
Get out.
Y'all don't burn down my yard, and I'm gonna go to sleep.
I feel like that's essentially what he just does. He just goes to sleep,
Yeah, he's
whether
like,
people are still there or not.
don't break anything. Don't burn down my nicely renovated house, and we'll be good.
It's pretty much what he said, because I was
Pretty
saying
much,
bye.
yeah.
He's like, yeah, y'all can chill out here, do whatever you want. I'm going to bed. I'm like, this is your home, dude. If you need to kick us out, kick us out. He's like, people are still drinking. But everyone else was leaving by then, so it's like, well, all right. It was the opposite of a Midwest goodbye. It was like we need to get out goodbye.
All right,
Which is very
Dylan,
rare.
we'll plan like 10 or 15 people, and we're gonna come over to Cheyenne and Harold's on Sunday night at like 8, and we're gonna start partying.
You know
Ooh.
what? You know what? That's great. I'm gonna speed dial Paul Bunyan in a dress to come over and bring her hellhound. And
I knew you had his number.
Yeah, that makes sense.
well, I think I saw on the side of an extermination truck. It looked like him.
Don't give me that.
Don't Bernie me. This little rat's guilty.
It's so funny because it was like, it was they were in a dress or whatever, and it was like a very hairy individual, and like they're coming
Ugh.
up the stairs and they're like, oh, is that like talking on a phone or something? Oh, it's not, yeah, and they're like big ass German Shepherd starts barking, and you go, hey, knock it off! It's like, what the fuck? It's like just going from that, oh hey, how's it? Hey, don't do that! I'm like, damn. Like you switch
That's
voice
your type.
actors. No.
Hmm.
Nah.
No.
Nah, Rhea Ripley's my type. That's a woman.
Yeah. Blah. Blah. All right, 6:30. We've hit that mark. Time to wrap it up.
Whack it? Alright.
No. I guess any
Okay,
other final any other final things before we jump into like the hot topics of the week?
I got nothing. I'm flat.
Yeah, I got nothing.
I think
All
we're
right.
on.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you want to go first, Harold?
I mean, you can go first if you want to.
All right. My hot topic of the week. I was gonna jump on the Doom train again, but I'll give that a break. Though I only used it like I think once not even last week, the week before that. But this week so I'm a big fan of hockey, and the Stanley Cup Finals are going on right now, and the team I'm rooting for, these last few years ever since I got into it, has been the Florida Panthers. Because Wisconsin does not have an official team, which surprises me because we're like a pretty big sports state, and I don't understand how there's not a market for that yet. But I have heard that the NHL is expanding and they want to add more teams, so maybe we see something in the future.
The
But for
Utah
now,
Mammoths.
yeah, those I like those jerseys. Those jerseys look cool. But my team right now is the Florida Panthers, and they'll always be my team because it's the first NHL team. So I'm really excited. They're up on the series 2-1 right now, and Game 4 is tomorrow. So definitely excited about that.
I think I'd be a lot more excited about the Stanley Cup if I liked hockey. I just can't get into it.
Get into it.
It's fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But speaking of a sport that's actually fun to watch, my hot
Alright.
topic of the week is the Brewers. I know this is gonna make Zach
Mhm.
happy. The Brewers are calling up Jacob Michalowski, the highly
Yep.
touted pitcher prospect, and he starts tomorrow. So I don't know what time they play, but that's definitely gonna be a game to watch.
Yeah. Also, the Brewers are 36-32, although they lost to the Atlanta Braves today. But third in their National League Central, so they're third. How are the Cardinals above us? That's
Cardinals,
surprising.
they're like the team that everyone was like, hey, everyone's going to get traded on that team. They're going to be bad. Everyone's getting traded. No one's getting traded. Uh, the closing pitcher Hanley was going to get traded, and they just are good. They gotta. I'm not sure how that works. Like, if any other team did that, like if we did that, like bring in a middle in offense and a, okay defense, but like, hey, we're just gonna see what happens. We would be bums. We would be losing. Everyone would be calling for the head of everybody. The Cardinals do it, and the ship keeps going. The ship keeps going. Ship keeps going.
There's a lot of interesting teams this year that are actually doing pretty well. So
Shout out the Rockies.
So
dude.
far.
They're making history. I think the reason they play in Colorado is so that the inhabitants, in order to watch a game, they can get inebriated.
I thought the Marlins were gonna do worse than the Rockies this year, but no.
Dude, if the Marlins are a 2-pack of ass, the Rockies are a 3-pack of ass. But speaking of a 7-pack of ass, Dylan, what do you got, buddy?
I got not a lot, my guy.
No, there's not one thing that excites you.
No, I mean I had a whole fun, like we discussed at the party this weekend, but
Well, our listeners haven't heard that.
well, listeners, I had a whole lot of fun at the party we had this weekend.
Okay.
Listeners, you heard
Now
that
they've heard
first.
it.
Now they heard it here first. 3 days or 4 days late.
It's fine. It's fine.
Everyone
nothing that you're
was
looking
sitting
forward
here
to?
like, oh, what did Dylan do Saturday? I wonder what he did.
Well, I mean it's not till next month, but I have the that Summer Allowed tour coming.
With
Beartooth, I Prevail, Killswitch Engage, Parkway Drive,
oh yeah,
Amity, and I think a couple more.
Well, you'll have to let us know about that.
Oh yeah, that's not till July 12th, I think.
Huh. I would have gone with a different hot topic of the week that I've told you guys about this last weekend, but I haven't heard the news yet on it yet because it's still kind of early. So, if I hear news about it, then I might say it on the pod. But I'll definitely let you guys know.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah.
If it happens, then we're definitely gonna have to do some kind of celebration of sorts.
Oh, I think so.
Yes, sir.
And maybe it's spun the right way if that means that we're going to someone's and drinking, or maybe bar hop. I mean, I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
But that is in a later time. And the current time, I think we're ready to wrap it up, boys.
That is
yes,
it.
Sir.
We are done. We're getting out of here.
We're getting out of here.
We're scooting.
I'm out the door already. I ran.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know we were running.
If you're Iran, I'm Iraq.
All right, you're done.
Irate.
Dylan's irate.
Well, this is the Jerk Circle podcast, and next time Jared might wake up from his nap, so we might have him on. Maybe.
Next time.
On the next episode
of the Jerk Circle podcast.
Ooh.
Later.
Okay, bye. I guess we